Okay, I wanted to talk today about compliments. That's why I named this To Blush or Not to Blush. Because I have a very hard time taking compliments. The other day, I was in church now, to beat all places. I'm a Sunday school teacher, so I was getting ready to unlock my door. And all the hall was empty except for one boy at the very end. So I reach up to get my key because we have a key head. Not gonna tell nobody where it's at. But anyway, I reach up to get it. That's all you'll know. And as I'm reaching up to get the key, I hear someone whistle, and not the kind of whistle. It was the kind of whistle. So embarrassed me. I look down the hall, and there is the boy that was still there is looking over, laughing. And so then two other boys come around the corner, and I know which one of them did it because I kind of caught him as he jumped behind the wall. So I thought, best thing to do, ignore them. So I go into my room. Of course, they follow me down there. I could not believe they followed me to my room. So they're all in there, like right up in my face. So I finally say, okay, let's just go to the fellowship hall. So we go to the fellowship hall, and they just keep talking to me, which is fine. I talk to all the kids. Well, I guess he's probably around 16 or 17. But to me, I consider him a kid. So I said, I was talking to someone else, and they said my name, and I wasn't going to say anything to them because I was busy talking to someone else. And so they said Reba McIntyre. I hate, cannot stress hate enough being called Reba McIntyre. I've been called that my entire life. I'm not Reba McIntyre. And I said, please don't say that. I really don't like it. And he said, why? She's got lots of money and she's real beautiful, and you're real beautiful. And I said, yeah, right. And I just walked out, because, I mean, that's church. That's no place to compliment someone like that. And I never take compliments good. Before, this is really funny, I was fat on the outside, but I felt like I was thin on the inside. I felt fine. Well, now I'm thinner on the outside, but I still feel fat on the inside. My brain has not caught up with the rest of me, and I don't see what the fuss is about. I'm not some great beauty or anything. I don't think I'm the world's most awfulest dog or anything like that, but I don't think I'm no beautiful thing. I mean, my husband calls me tiny. I am by no means tiny. Please, you fat little cheeks. But, I mean, I don't see what the fuss is about. I just don't see it. Um, like I said, I don't think I'm god awful. I don't think I'm going to be banished from heaven because of my looks, but I don't think I'm no raving beauty either. And it embarrasses me when people compliment me, and I've got to where I just kind of turn bright red. My cheeks are so red right now. But, I just kind of turn red and I say thank you, and I try to go on. And, it's just really hard to take compliments. I guess if I seen what people see more, I might, be able to accept them more, but I don't know. So that's why I named this To Blush or Not to Blush, because might as well just said to blush because I blush. I am the world's worst person about turning red. You can always tell when I'm embarrassed. My face will go up in flames. Um, Very hard to hide if I'm embarrassed. I mean, I just turn totally red. So, I don't know. That's what I wanted to talk about today. So, some compliments are nice, like when your pastor says, wow, you've really done good. Or when you run into someone you haven't seen before and they go, my lord, you have lost so much weight. Great compliment. But, for someone to say, oh, I'm going to steal you away from your husband, that is not a compliment. Most men do not know how to compliment somebody, and that was actually said to me. One of my husband's friends actually was joking him about he was going to take me out on a date. I told him I would lay him out with a skillet. So, an iron skillet to be all But anyway, sorry, I got a big old catch in my throat, so I'll keep going, sounding like an idiot. But anyway, thought I would just make a video. Got my little microphone up. Everybody's here. So that probably makes some great big scritchy sound. Got my little video camera up there. Have a hard time looking at it. I keep looking down, like, ooh, look, there's something interesting, because there I am on the screen. So I'll probably get over that eventually. Um, I don't know. I just thought I would talk about compliments today. And as Christian said, comment right down there, because I would like to know if you've lost a lot of weight, or or just even if you haven't, just if when people compliment you, does it embarrass you? You know, um, how do you take compliments? Is what I want to know. So I will catch you later. Want to hear something funny? I used to have to turn the camera off to stop recording. Now I push a little button on the screen. So I looked like an idiot going, it's all over. When it wasn't. Now it is. Bye.